Hello and welcome to Nope There's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 60. The date today is the 7th of September 2014. So Joe, how are you today?
Quite frankly, I'm scared.
Why are you scared? There's nothing to be scared of.
We've got this podcast to do.
Yep, but we have a juicy agenda and a juicy topics to dissect and break apart and talk about.
Why are you lying to the people?
Well, you got to kind of start on a good footing, and then when they're disappointed... I don't know why I'm lying, actually. That's the real answer to the people.
No, I didn't think you did.
No. We left it like 2 weeks, because last week I was busy, and I didn't actually mention it anywhere that there wasn't going to be a podcast last week. I just think that the fans at this point, they know. It's like, that they know that it's very low odds of an actual podcast coming out, so I don't think anyone was actually surprised.
No.
But next week, you're not going to be here.
No.
That's good news.
No, I'm going to be going to see a former Bond.
George Lazenby?
Get the hell out. I wouldn't even go to see him if it were free.
What? You can't dislike George Lazenby that much.
I can.
Why?
And I am. Why? Because he was stupid. I don't want to start rounding about Bond. Let's not even get into it.
Why? Come on.
But I won't be here next week. No, you're right.
Because you're seeing Timothy Dalton live on stage.
You're almost there.
Almost there. I'm getting closer.
Go older and wiser and wrinklier.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pierce Brosnan, though, you know what's annoying me at the moment is that he was in that film, The November Man, and I don't think it'll be that good. If I had to take a guess, it's probably not going to be that good. Probably just some standard spy flick with a few explosions. He walks away from the explosions and shoots some people. But I kind of really want to see it anyway.
I want to see it out of curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah, I would spend like however much it would cost to go to the cinema to see 60-year-old Pierce jump around and shoot people again.
It would be like old James Bond. It would be like Sean Connery in Never Say Never.
Oof. No.
I'm sorry I had to bring that up.
Well, that's not cool. I mean, you didn't say Diamonds Are Forever, so at least there's that.
But Never Say Never's even worse, so...
Ugh. So yeah, because I think there's two big problems with Die Another Day, alright? And you're not going to agree with me on this, or you probably have other reasons. But the two for me, the main one is that the villain, the main villain is just stupid. And
absolutely agree.
Silly. And I think that's the main thing that sinks it. And then the second one is that Pierce Brosnan is just too old at that point. There's that one shot when he's on the hover thing in Korea, and he does a leap from an explosion, and he just looks so stiff and old doing this leap that in GoldenEye he totally would have got away with, but now he just looks like, oh, as he's jumping away. So, I don't know why I want to see The November Man, because of course it's been 12 years since Die Another Day, and I don't think he's matured as an action hero.
I think he's going to be quite rusty at that sort of thing. I mean, what's he done in the meantime? He's done... Most people know him from Mamma Mia, where he sang really terribly.
Sure.
And maybe some other rom-coms he's been in, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
It's rom-coms, isn't it?
Yeah. And he was in that Ewan McGregor film, where he's the Prime Minister, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Oh, yeah. What was he, Zeus or something?
No, he was some, old guy in a wheelchair. Percy! You know the deal.
Yeah, old guy in wheelchair. Classic.
Yeah, but so I don't know why I want to see it. And also, we can't see it, being from the UK. Have you not checked? It has no UK release date, and it's just not out here.
What? See, I did wonder why he was doing all the the US chat shows and not, Graham Norton for British people over here.
Yeah.
I did wonder that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the November Man is out, and he played GoldenEye on TV. That's pretty cool. I'll go see it. And then I went to go check it out, and it wasn't listed. And I was like, that's weird. And then I did a bit of Googling, and it's just like, there is no UK release date for this film.
That's really odd.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's some sort of rights issue or something, but it's like, I did want to go see it, but not that much. And now they're stopping me from seeing it. So I want to see it even more now. Like, what is this hidden movie that we're not allowed to see with James Bond in it?
He clearly kills the Queen.
Oh. Well, that's very blatant and to the point.
Mm.
I mean, I think it could still come out, though. Just might be a little outrage.
A little.
Just a smidge of outrage,
I would like to see it, yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's not that... I mean, film season is pretty much done at this point anyway. I think there are films coming out this winter, but we got all the major ones in the summer. Like, already this year we've had Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Transformers, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, other films that I'm forgetting. I know I've seen some more in the cinema, but I can't think of them at the moment. But pretty much we've had like all the big films, and I don't think we have that many coming for Christmas.
When does Hunger Games come out? Is that maybe winter?
Is that this year? Another one?
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's this year, but it's coming.
Aren't they still CGIing out Philip Seymour Hoffman?
I thought they were CGIing him in.
Oh,
somewhat.
well, even better.
Yeah, got some of that weird Uncanny Valley stuff going on.
Yeah,
Oh.
I do not want another one of those films to come out. And I didn't see the last one, to be fair. I didn't actually see it, but that's because I saw the first one. So I don't want to see the second one after the first one. Because when the Twilight films came out, they didn't really annoy me. Because they weren't my demographic. Wasn't like forced to go see it, so I just kind of didn't. I just knew those films kind of sucked. Everyone was like, yeah, they're not good films. It's like, alright, fair enough. But the Hunger Games came out, and people were like, these are good films. And then I went to go see it, it was like, that sucked. And then the other one actually did quite well, and this new one is going to do quite well as well, and people actually seem to like it. And then that's kind of the annoying part. Although that's just because we're on the internet, so that's kind of how we do it. If somebody likes something too much and we don't like it, then it sucks and is annoying. And it's something, I'm working on it, I can go see Transformers and not hate it, but the Hunger Games, no, not for me.
You're going to meetings, aren't you? You're going to meetings, you're sorting out the problem.
I am,
you're just dealing with it.
Just haters anonymous. Bloody hell, I can't say that word apparently. Just haters.
It's fine. You're going to classes for that as well.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm going to the speaking classes, all about hate. It's just a big hateful space where everyone's angry and then they try to express themselves and they get even angrier and we just fist fight and just really get it out there, all the emotions.
Seems like you could also have maybe like something that's squidgy, but the violence also works.
No,
as well.
Violence is pretty good. It's very to the point. Like squidgy, there's some violence in that. But it's not quite the same as, getting a chair, throwing the chair at someone.
Punching the Queen in the face.
Punching the Queen, recording that, putting it out in America, not in the UK. That's where the satisfaction comes. That's where you really get all that energy out.
Yeah. By the way, can I just go back to Bond?
Sure.
Very briefly. I think I've changed James Bond opinion. And I think what happened was I got caught up in the moment because when Skyfall came out, I was like, oh, this is amazing, it's brilliant, it's really, really good. Rewatched Casino Royale a few days ago. Better, much better.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah. I went through the same thing.
I haven't watched it in a long time and it was really good.
Like, what happened is that Casino Royale came out and was really good and there was a lot of hype. But then that Quantum of Solace, that darn pesky Quantum of Solace, brought everyone down. Brought everyone really down. And then like Casino Royale also had that because it was like a 4-year wait and then a different Bond, but I think people were still like optimistic about it. So when it was good, people were like, "Oh, cool, that's good." But Quantum of Solace was just so average and not good that when Skyfall came out and was really good, it's like, "Hey, this is like the best Bond ever." But yeah. I had the similar kind of thing when I saw Skyfall in the cinema. I loved it. And then when I rewatched it, I still really liked it. But then shortly afterwards, I brought Casino Royale on Blu-ray, and I watched that film, and yeah, it's better. It's just better. It's just like it visually, you know, it doesn't do the same cool stuff that Skyfall does, but it's a cooler film, Casino Royale.
What Quantum of Solace did, like you say, it lowered people's expectations. So we grabbed onto what we could of Skyfall, but man, did they do a good job with that first film, especially with that little gap and new Bond and new sort of style. They really nailed it.
Yeah,
such a good film.
Like, I would say that's probably the first like official reboot of Bond. Like, there was GoldenEye, and there were several kind of semi-reboots, reinventing it, bringing it back. Like, the first film for every Bond is kind of like that. But seeing how Casino Royale starts with that earning his 00 thing, that was the first actual proper reboot, I would say. And it's like crazy because they completely pulled it off. Like, Daniel Craig does a great job. The action's awesome. And it's the same guy who did GoldenEye. That guy's just... That's an awesome director right there.
Yeah. Yeah, but think of the time difference between those two films, and it's still got it.
Yeah.
It's still got it.
That's the thing that amazes me, that somebody from back in that era, or just who used to make films, could understand what made films good then, and then even though the technology changes so much, they still have that instinct, like years later. Like, that's kind of crazy, because you look at just the quality, and even just the directing, like the way films are now directed and action film has changed. He just picked it up and just went with it, even though, like, with Casino Royale, and it's like one of the best action films ever. It's awesome.
The thing is, as well, I'm still sort of... Maybe this is down to my own stupidity. Probably is. But I'm still finding out things that I missed, you know, from watching it previous 2 or 3 times. And just like little bits about... Right, this is really dumb, but I didn't even realise that Bond blamed Mathis for, like, being a double agent.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise. I don't know why I didn't realise that, but I didn't pick up on it until I was like, oh... And that's why in the Quantum of Solace he's got that villa and stuff. Oh, I see. And it's like, oh, am I silly?
That's kind of the big thing about it being a sequel. It's like, the bitch is dead. And it's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. That's from the book. That's a quote from the book.
Ah.
I think it's like one of the last lines. Might be the last line of the book. Right, and one other thing about Casino Royale. Right. Daniel Craig, very, very good actor, very good Bond. He has a weird face. Now I know I'm not his target demographic, right? But his face, you know, he's handsome. He can pull off being Bond.
Okay,
right?
he's handsome. All right.
But in some shots, his face looks like it's sort of squished. I don't know what it is. He can go from looking really, really good as Bond to like a sort of potato sort of thing.
Oh god,
Didn't you find that?
No.
When it's... I don't know how to describe it.
It's like, I noticed this after playing the games, that Daniel Craig has like one expression, and then sometimes he slightly smirks, sometimes he gives like slight like eyes, and that's it. That's everything that he offers in terms of acting through his face. So yeah, I did notice that, but I never thought of potatoes while watching any of his James Bond films.
Look, I don't mean to diss the guy. I think it's just bad lighting.
Oh, sure.
Because it's when, like, maybe it was... Alright, there's one scene in particular. It's where he's in the car with Vespa and they're heading to the hotel and they're sorting out their passports. And I don't know why, but he looks really red and puffy and potatoey in that shot.
Okay. I'm not too sure why red and puffy leads to potato. I mean, potatoes aren't red or puffy, but sure, a red puffy potato. is what I will definitely look out for.
You can get yams. They're red.
We're not talking about yams. They're completely different.
Oh, fine, whatever.
If you said he was yammy, then I'll be on board. But you said potato.
I'm committing to potato. It's fine. That's all I got to say.
So, in short, he's a red, puffy, handsome potato.
Yes.
Because you did say handsome.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be semi good looking to play Bond.
Okay, there we go. Semi good looking. He's a red, puffy, semi good looking potato.
Yeah.
We got to get down to this. The truth about Daniel Craig.
On a potato level, he's probably above Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, what about Spud from Bob the Builder? Is he somewhere in that range? Although I guess he didn't have a potato for a head, but he was called Spud.
No, Spud's at the bottom. He's a fake potato.
Why was he called Spud then, if he wasn't a potato man?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
What you know, Bob the Builder?
No.
He can fix it.
I know, yeah, but I don't remember the characters.
Oh, but Spud was such he was the prick of the series. Like, where, I miss this in old shows, and Bob the Builder isn't that old, but it's like, you would have a kid's show, you would have the over-the-top hero who's just like, it's sickening how happy he is all the time, willing to help out. And then all his friends, and then they have the one guy who they're friends with, but it's just clearly no good.
Was he the blue lorry?
No, he wasn't a lorry.
Oh.
He was a
There's one really sad
scarecrow.
one. Oh. Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, like his shows had all the different personalities. Like Bod the Builder, you know, you had the over-anxious one, the sad one, and then all that, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then you just had Spud, who really they should have just said, "Get the head out of here, Spud, you freak. You're just like no good. You're trouble." But they don't.
Well, I didn't call Daniel Craig a freak now. I mean,
Well,
come on, easy.
I read between the lines.
Oh, well, that's down to you.
The potato lines, I read between them, you know.
When he comes knocking at my door, I'm pointing him in your direction.
Why? No!
You're the one who called him a freak.
You said red, puffy, semi-looking potato.
Go get honest Tom.
Mr. Craig?
He's the one you want.
I was saying that Spud was a freak, to be fair, and that is what I will tell him when he arrives.
He'll just have that one expression, so you won't be able to tell what he's thinking.
Yeah, he knocks on the door, he's like, "Hey, no, good, bad."
Just close the door on him.
Yeah, sorry, I just don't have time for this, Mr. Craig. You just commit to an emotion or get the hell out.
Pretty much. Go back to acting school.
Yeah. Because he wasn't really, like, in that much before. Really. Like,
He was in a lot of kind of independent British films.
Yeah, he was in, like, Layer Cake, and that's, like, the only one I can think of.
Maybe his first... No, he was in Tomb Raider as well.
Oh.
But that's quite a big film.
Yeah, I guess that was pretty big. But then, like, as soon as Casino Royale hit, he then just started showing up everywhere, like, the Golden Compass he was in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that film was horrendous.
And, a film with Nicole Kidman, I think. The Others or something? I can't remember.
No, the others was, like, early 2000s horror film.
Oh, it was some film.
Australia!
Was he in that?
No, that was Hugh Jackman.
He hasn't been in much recently, though. He's not like that other guy who's in like every single Cumberbatch. He's in everything at the moment. Or
No, at the moment. He had a good year.
He had his run.
Yeah.
But Craig, where's Craig?
Now it's Martin Freeman's time. Although I think he's had his run, yeah.
I think he's had his run as well, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing like Richard III in London. That's what he's up to.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, yeah. Good for him.
Should we talk about games?
Nah.
No, I didn't think you would want to talk about games.
No, I'm not a fan. Okay, well, let's talk about games. It was my idea, I'm taking it. And we only have like one major piece of news, because there was other news, but it's just kind of like non-news. And that seems to be what the media is kind of filled up with. Or, it's a case of, there's the same amount of news as always, but with 24-hour media coverage with gaming and websites, it's just, they just throw up anything. So you kind of have to scroll through all this kind of fluff and nonsense and just like, this one producer says the other one whose sales is less than expected. Like, it's not news. It doesn't count. So we weren't here last week, so I want to talk about the new Nintendo 3DS. So just in case you don't know, Nintendo are going to release a new 3DS called New 3DS. Again, they still can't figure out the names. I don't quite get what's going on. Why didn't they call it something else?
What, is it not called 3DS XL?
No. They've already released the 3DS XL.
Oh, right, that's what I've got. Okay, yeah, sure.
See, we had the 3DS, and then they released a bigger version called the XL, and now we're getting the new 3DS, which comes in normal size and XL.
Oh, good lord, that's dumb.
Yeah, because I don't know why they would release a console and call it New 3DS when that name was going to be redundant a day after it comes out. Some might say a couple of years.
Trying to confuse parents and people buying these things for their kids.
Well,
are they purposely doing that?
I don't think it's actually confusing to the casual person. You just go to the shop and it's like, New 3DS! Let's do it! Let's buy it! That must be the one! It's called New! And then by the time that there's another new one, they'll call it something completely different, and then they know to go for that one. So really, for the casual market, it's super simple. They just label the one that you should buy for your kid because it's the latest one, with a big new label next to it. And then for the hardcore, they kind of know which one is actually the new one, because they understand, or they can read, which is quite nice. So, yeah, the name is stupid. I don't like it, but it's not as confusing as like the Wii U. It's surprisingly not as confusing when you really kind of think about it.
But what about in the future when the newer one comes out?
Well,
what
then
do they say?
Nobody care about the old one. They'll just rename it Old 3DS.
What about poorer families who have to have like older things for their kids?
Well, then they get a little boost because they're like, hey, we got the new 3DS. It's the latest one. They can lie to themselves easier.
Not the newer 3DS.
No, the newer one. Well, you got to be in a certain social bracket to get one of those.
You got to be friends with Reggie.
Oh yeah, Reggie. You got to know Reggie. It's obvious. But I don't like the name. Anyway.
What does it do?
Well, it looks very similar to a 3DS. They've just made a lot of little changes. So we've got a C stick now. So above where all the buttons are, on the right hand side, there's a little C stick. Now, it's too small. I guess they don't want people to actually play first person shooters on this thing, which is fine. It is a 3DS, but still just a little bigger. And maybe once I actually buy one of the things and start using it, the C-Stick will feel fine. Because it does seem like it's meant purely for camera control, but it does seem just on the small side. Like if they just made it a little bit bigger, then suddenly games like with third person action games, you could then control it a lot easier with 2 analog sticks. But I don't know, maybe it'll work, I don't know. But so there's that. And then there's a lot of little things in there, but I think the main thing is that it's actually upgraded. Like the CPU is actually better and things like that. So this is actually a more powerful 3DS. Now what this means is that it's just generally quicker with how it runs, but also there's going to be games released exclusively for the new 3DS, with the first one being Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a Wii game that they're porting to the new 3DS, but will only be able to be played on the new 3DS and not the older ones. So, I'm being a bit selfish here, but I like that this is happening, and I don't care that people are getting screwed over on this one. Because of course, if you buy a 3DS, you won't be able to play certain games that comes out on the system because you haven't got the most recent one. But I'm ready to upgrade. I brought one in 2012, I want to say, when Ocarina of Time 3D came out. I brought the limited edition Zelda 3DS, and it's been a few years, and I think it's time for me to get a new one. So if I can, or in 2015 anyway, I definitely will be. So I like the idea of upgrading to, it's still a 3DS, but it's more powerful, and it actually is an upgrade. It really reminds me of the phone market Like, that's the first thing that screamed out to me when I first heard this was announced. Like, this seems like Nintendo releasing, like, the iPhone 4S. Like, this is their equivalent, where it's actually better, but it's still essentially the same, but it is better. So, I'm going to buy it, and I can't wait to play Xenoblade Chronicles on it, but I can see why some people would be upset.
I think that sounds awful.
Why? Why?
Comparing to the phone market's awful.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want the gaming market to become too much like the phone market, but for Nintendo to take steps to make their handheld consoles a bit like the phone market, in terms of the hardware anyway, like we're not talking about apps and shovelware and all that awful kind of the way the App Store is. We're talking about the actual hardware. And they're not releasing one every year. Well, actually, that's not true. I think they have. I think they made the 3DS, and then the 3DS XL, and then the 2DS, and now the new 3DS. So I think they actually have released one each year.
Right, okay.
So, whoops. But anyway, the thing is, I don't mind that, because you don't have to get, or I didn't have to get the 3DS XL. I, don't have to get the 2DS, but, now that there's a new 3DS, it seems like, this is a time to upgrade, get the new one, get a new system, and as long as the price is right, like obviously it's going to be like more, but I don't mind paying a bit more. It's an upgrade. You get a little C-stick, and it's meant to feel a bit nicer, and it runs quicker, so yeah, I'm getting one, that's for sure.
I just wonder what the balance is going to be to those like exclusive ones for that and just regular games.
Well, that's it. I don't quite know how they're going to... Yeah, I don't know how they're going to pull that off, because they can't alienate the fan base of the 3DS when it's really quite... It's not early in the lifespan, but it's still got a few years ahead of it. Like, this year we've got Super Smash Bros. And Pokemon coming out, so those are a couple of big ones. So I'm not too sure what this really indicates. Like, if it indicates that Nintendo are moving to a completely new model where it is like the phone market, as we mentioned, where they just upgrade each time, or if this new 3DS represents like they're actually moving to a new console, or like something odd is going on here. Like, I would assume, and my assumption and my money would be placed on the fact that they're moving to be like the phone market with upgraded hardware more regularly, but it's not as much of a jump, because what else can you really do with like a handheld at this point? But it could indicate something else, and when it's Nintendo, you never quite know with these guys. Like, they might be like, oh, we're releasing a new console that connects to the new 3DS, and all the games on the new console can now be played on this new 3DS. Like, this could be a small part of something bigger, or it could just represent them changing the way they, make their handhelds.
Right. Okay. I hope it's not that last bit.
No.
That seems a bit... There seems to just be a lot of stuff with Nintendo. There's a lot of things flying around. It's all flying. It's like they're juggling lots of things.
Well, it's the same as normal. It's just Wii U, and then you got a new 3DS coming out next year. Because you can view it however you want. You could actually view this as a whole new console. It just has the same name. Like, the Wii U is called the Wii U. It has the Wii in the title. So you could have viewed that, and a lot of people did, as either a whole new console, because it technically is, or just an upgrade to the Wii, like in HD, and you get a nice gamepad. And with the 3DS, or the new 3DS, I think you can view it in a similar way. It can play old 3DS games, and there are some new exclusive ones to it, but you can view it as a new console because it can play new games, or you can view it as an old one because it's very similar. So, which camp people will be in? Probably the one that's like, they'll view it as being similar, then in 2 years' time everyone will just automatically upgrade and shift. So all the new games that comes out for just the new 3DS, it won't be an issue anymore. But I don't know. I don't think you can ever do this sort of thing perfectly, where you force people to upgrade. But I think for the handheld market, this does make more sense than releasing a whole new system every few years, or the older model where that's what they did.
I haven't played that many games on the 3DS. So, I want to know, from your experience anyway, do you think the 3DS actually needs a hardware upgrade?
I think it coming out in 2015, and yeah, it is coming out this year in Japan, but it's not for us, so it doesn't count. It coming out in 2015, having an upgrade boost or this hardware upgrade, yeah, I think so. I think it will open up quite a lot to them. And the fact that they can port Xenoblade Chronicles and it looks great. Like, it looks really good. So I think it could do with an upgrade. And it doesn't necessarily need that big upgrade. Because the thing is, if they release a whole new console that's a big upgrade, then the price is going to skyrocket. You're not going to be able to get a whole new console with massively upgraded hardware for, the same price as the current hardware. So if they can release this one that is slightly upgraded, give developers a bit more breathing room, allow them to make games with better graphics, and also the consumer doesn't have to pay that much more, yeah, I would say it's worth it. But strictly, I'm not too sure if it actually needs it. Like, I think the new Pokemon games look a bit ugly, and I think with HD gaming, I think handhelds really need to be on top of it, especially because they're competing with games with next to no graphics selling a stupid amount. Like, they need to make sure that they are looking good. Although, that can't be the end or that's not the end of it. Like, the PS Vita would be selling if that's all it was. But yeah, I'm going to say yes. It does need an upgrade.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know, because all I've played is Pokemon and Professor Layton.
3D Land? Hello?
Oh no, and I played a bit of Luigi's Mansion, which actually looked quite nice.
Yeah, that's a good looking game.
Yeah, for a 3DS. I like that.
For a 3DS, it's just outrageous.
You be quiet. It would be cool if they did something like where you could upgrade your own one and pay less.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't do that, I don't think, because that's not really financially incentive.
Well, shops will do it, I think.
Shops will do it, I suppose, yeah.
Trade in your old 3DS, you get a discount.
Mm.
But I think some of the people who are moaning about this are the people who buy everyone anyway. I didn't get a 3DS XL or a 2DS, but I can imagine if I actually spent my money on those systems and a 3DS, then I would be quite annoyed. But I didn't, because I don't need that many consoles. That's a bit silly. I don't need the latest one as long as I don't need it. Like, it's nice to upgrade, but I don't need it. So I think the people who are moaning are the ones who I'm not spending money on a different one. And it's just like, well, you already spent your money on an XL when you already had a 3DS, and you already spent your money on a 2DS when you didn't really need one, so can't really see why that sort of person is complaining. Now, I am assuming this, so probably not true for everyone, or definitely not true for everyone, but there are those people who will buy everything and just throw their money around, but then complain that they're being ripped off, even though they're the ones spending their money.
So the main two people that are complaining are as follows. Number one, those people we just mentioned who buy everything are now complaining.
Uh-huh.
And number two, unlucky, unfortunate people who just bought it at the wrong time.
Yeah, pretty much. But if you bought a 2DS, that's only like 80 quid, so forget about it.
Yeah, 80 quid. What can that get you these days?
Nothing.
It'll get you a loaf of bread.
A whole loaf of bread, if you're lucky.
A thick cut loaf of bread.
Ooh, thick cut.
Have you seen it do doorstep? It's called doorstep, and it's like slabs of bread.
Ugh, I don't like a thick loaf. I like a medium loaf.
See, I like thick loaf for toast, because then you get like sort of chewy toast in the middle.
Sure.
But yeah, thick for bread. Then the bread to like ham ratio is just completely wrong.
No, like you can have a thick loaf, thick slice if you're gonna have a lot in the sandwich, but then you can still have like medium size bread if you're gonna have a lot in the sandwich anyway. So it's just a safe call. It's just a safe bet. Go for medium. Don't risk it with thick.
Yeah. And also try that bread that has the crust cut off. Pretty cool.
No, that's not pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
How old are you?
What's wrong? I mean, I like crust. Don't get me wrong. Crusts are good. But I don't really like crust on toast.
But then you don't have to eat all the crust. You just leave a little bit at the end. The one that's a bit blacker and crunchier than the rest. No one will judge you.
But then you've got to eat around it, and it's like, then you get butter all around your face, and it's like, you might as well just do it without the crust.
You don't get butter all around your face. Unless you're an aggressive spreader.
I am an aggressive spreader.
Jesus.
No, but like when you get... I'm not getting into this. No, I'm not.
Why
No.
not? Oh, come on.
No, screw it. No, I'm not going to argue about eating toast.
Why not?
I'm bigger than that.
But you're buying pre-sliced or...
We don't buy it regularly. It's a one-off.
Oh,
It's an
special
experiment.
occasion.
It was like, oh, what's this new bread? Let's try it.
If it's Christmas and, family are over.
We had it for Christmas. Screw turkey. We had toast.
Just you slow cooked in the oven all night.
We we stuffed it as well.
Oh, who wants the crust?
Me. Yeah, it was. Oh, what a Christmas that was.
Ah,
Those are the days.
£2 spent on that meal.
And that went a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, bread.
Bread, 3DS.
Yeah, 3DS, yeah. So I think pretty much covered it. I mean, I am really happy they're porting Xenoblade Chronicles over because they even needed to print more copies on the Wii or print it over or, port it or remake it in some fashion because I really want the new Wii U one. It looks really good, but I want to play the first one first and it costs like 40 quid to get it used at the moment. So if they're going to bring it over to the new 3DS, improve the graphics and improve it, then I'm definitely there. So maybe that's why I'm a bit biased towards the new 3DS, because the one game they announced and that is exclusive to the system at the moment, I really want, and I will definitely be buying, and I'll buy the system for it. So maybe if I didn't have any interest in that game, I might be a bit more annoyed.
I see how it is.
What?
Yeah, it's fine.
Listen, Krusty.
Mm.
Actually, that doesn't make sense. You don't like the crust.
No, I'd be decrusty.
Decrusty.
Anti-crusty.
Sounds posh. Decrusty.
Oh, what is going on today?
I don't know, but I just dropped my paper. That's all I do know.
Now we have nothing to talk about.
Damn it! How did this happen?
Get that paper back.
No. I just
The
wrote
own
new
face.
3DS on it.
Oh, right,
all
just
I-
really big letters.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. And that's about it.
You're like SpongeBob when he's trying to write his essay. It's like just a massive "the," and then that's it. Nothing
Done.
else. You're done.
Laughing. Do you reckon, right, with SpongeBob, I don't like the show, but I feel like I should.
Why don't you like the show?
Because it doesn't make me laugh.
Right.
That's a big problem. I sit there and I can kind of appreciate some of the jokes, but I don't find it funny. I know it's well written or whatever and all that, but it's just doesn't make me laugh, but I feel like it should.
Well, it didn't make me laugh that much. The only things I laughed at in that show was when they drew SpongeBob in a really weird way, really randomly for 2 frames. That's what made me laugh.
Oh no,
Yeah,
actually no. The one character or characters that do make me laugh is the fish. How
What?
everyone who isn't SpongeBob and his friends is just that typical I'm outside doing stuff and I hate everyone person. That guy you just see on a train just looking miserable. That's how all the fish are in that show. And just judgmental and just over the top, and that's the best part of the show.
The ones that always goes, "My legs," when he gets injured.
I guess. I mean, I haven't seen the show in years.
There's always one fish that goes, "My legs."
Ah,
You need to watch out.
but he doesn't have legs.
They do.
What, the fish?
Yeah, they have legs.
Well, that's weird.
Have you not seen the show?
I have, but it's been a while.
Plankton wasn't ever funny to me.
No, never liked Plankton. Mr. Krabs had his moments. Squidward had his moments. Never really
It's
found...
basically The Simpsons, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The more I think about it, Mr. Krabs is Mr. Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Barney, you could maybe say was Barney. Patrick, you could say would be Barney, maybe. I'm trying to think of like another dumb character.
I don't think you can translate the characters exactly, but I think it's pretty much that. It's pretty much is The Simpsons.
I mean, especially when you're saying like all the fish are just like the people of Springfield. They just hate everything. You know,
Yeah.
Really
They're
irrational.
stupid. Yeah, they're just stupid.
Yeah.
Anything I would give you would just be a placebo. Where can we get these placebos?
I'm watching far too much Simpsons recently. It's excellent. Very good. Reminded me of some classic clips.
Well done.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Well, I say that, I've actually been listening to the commentaries, but that's still good enough.
Do you want to know a fun fact I learnt actually today about The Simpsons?
Go on then.
Yes. Right. Do you know why Marge's hair is so big and long?
She's supposed to have rabbit ears.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
That's just weird to me.
That sounds funny.
I don't understand that. I just don't understand it.
Well, like, where did you hear this from? Because I heard this from a clip that Mike Reese did, one of the writers. He did an interview on a podcast, and that was just one of the things he said, that Marge was meant to have rabbit ears.
Was it this podcast?
Well, it could have been. No.
Oh.
No, there's only trash here.
I think I heard it on a DVD commentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
One of the times that Matt Groening chips in, says something random. Yeah. But then that's funny, because then they obviously didn't go along with that for very long, because they have Marge like with her hair down.
Yeah. Well, they said, or what Mike Reese said, is that that was the plan because they didn't think the show would go anywhere. So they thought it would be like a quick 6 episodes or however many. Then they would just do a big screw you ending where everything just gets flipped on its head and makes no sense. And Marge is revealed to have rabbit ears, and it's just like the most unserious, stupid ending. And then they just go out with a bang like that. But then, because the show was successful, they kind of had to scrap that idea.
I'm glad they did. Sounds awful.
Well, I don't know, maybe, when they do finish the show, we see some rabbit ears.
No, little glimpse. She also has webbed feet as well.
Yeah.
They really did want to mess up with Marge, didn't they? What's wrong with Marge?
I don't know. Like, that's weird with The Simpsons. They seem to have all these characteristics and, like, features for all their characters. But because of the simple designs, you don't see it most of the time. Like, they don't draw in a lot of these features, so then they just zoom in on Marge's feet and it's like, What's
They are, yeah.
Wow,
yeah, they could do a lot with, very little detail. Or just even implying, like you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I've been rewatching Futurama, like the newer episodes. And there's there's a lot of laughs to be had in those episodes. Like, really? I think I probably mentioned it before, but yeah, those last 2 seasons, which is actually 52 episodes of Futurama, are good. They're good episodes. Like
26 episodes of series.
Yeah, they did 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, 13 episodes each. So it came to 52
Blimey.
In the end. Yeah, I don't think people realise quite how many episodes of Futurama came after it ended, and then even after that, after the films. Like, I think it's the same amount of episodes that were originally made, if not more.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. If you split up the films into episodes, that'd be a lot.
But it's actually good, though. Like, the Shut Up and Take My Money came from the new episodes.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and then also... Well, I won't list all the episodes, but it is good. Like, if anyone who... Like, because I would guess a lot of people watch some of the new episodes, maybe they didn't keep it keep up with it, because it was over 4 years that Futurama came back. So I would definitely recommend to anyone, rewatch those episodes, like all 52 of them. They're good. Not everyone's a winner, but there's a lot of good ones in there.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's funny that Futurama never really seems to have the same sort of, or had, I guess now, the same sort of popularity. Or maybe it did, but in a different way. I think people are more loyal to Futurama than say, other things.
I think people were loyal to The Simpsons and then just gave up with it. Because if people were loyal to Futurama, it wouldn't have got cancelled and then had to move to a different network. Like, we can make out that Fox are really evil and there's like, oh, cancelling our favourite shows, how dare they? But when it comes down to it, the network doesn't cancel a show if people are watching that show. So if people were actually loyal to it and it had a big enough fan base, it would never got cancelled. It would have just kept going. But people weren't watching, so it got cancelled.
But then at the same time, it did come back like 3 times.
Twice. I mean, they made the films, and then it actually came back properly, so... You know, it only came back twice, and then I think... it was just like Comedy Central picked it up. And then even then, when it came out on Comedy Central, it wasn't like amazing ratings. It was just good for Comedy Central. So like, when a show gets cancelled because people aren't watching it, I really don't have any sympathy for the people who enjoy that show. Because you didn't support it. So yeah, it gets cancelled.
But that's what I mean. It's like, people always go on about how good that show was, but it still got cancelled, like you say. So people must have liked it, but you just never really hear much compared to, say, well, actually, you never really hear much about Family Guy now. Or maybe I'm just not listening.
What about
maybe that's the
Family
answer.
Guy?
Yeah,
It's just people talking about Family Guy. It's just not on at the moment. I think.
Right.
I think that's what's going on.
they'll be talking about it a lot very soon.
Oh yeah, that episode.
Yep, and also they released something for the Futurama one of The Simpsons as well.
Did they?
Like a picture of Bender killing Homer.
Oh, okay.
It was delightful.
See, that one might actually be good because it's got the Futurama stuff involved in some capacity. And they, like I said, the new episodes were still good. So they seem to know what they're doing, were able to make some funny jokes and maintain that humour that Futurama had and tell stories. So if they have the freedom that Futurama had and are able to pull off these jokes, there is a chance that that crossover episode won't be terrible.
As long as Susan Boyle's not there, I'll be pleased.
Well, what are you going to do?
Can't win them all.
No. Oh well.
No.
But still, I think I think we already talked about. We won't go into the Family Guy Simpsons thing too much, but that got good. Like, people were positive about it, weren't they? After that footage came out. Like, obviously, there's a lot of people who hated it, including us. But I think there was actually a lot of people like, yeah, that was funny. I'm all in.
I think there's probably just a lot of people that were happy that they finally got to see the things together. I don't know if they... I think the people who didn't like it probably looked into it more than others. Like, we were talking about it and we were saying how a lot of that stuff just... when you actually picture it in the episode, is going to seem really sort of weird or forced or something. But I think for people who liked it, they just kind of saw it together and like, oh wow, look, there's Homer and Peter fighting, and then they didn't really go much more into it, probably.
No,
It's just like the actual spectacle of seeing it mashed together.
Yeah, which, I mean, I thought it looked terrible, like, or it, visually looked bad the way they did it, but I'm just I don't know how anyone can be excited about a crossover anymore. Like, the Avengers killed it. And I mean in a bad way. The Avengers did the ultimate crossover by making all these separate films and then putting them all together in a big blockbuster. So I'm not too sure how anyone can really be that excited about characters coming together anymore. It's been done a lot, it seems like, in the last 10 years. Like, we've slowly shifted. It used to be about the reboots, and it still is. But we're slowly coming out of the reboot phase into the crossover phase, where it's just, you don't kind of reboot, you just cross over. And we saw that we're seeing that a lot with superhero films like X-Men Days of Future Past. That's both a reboot in a way, but it's actually a crossover because it's the old characters and the new ones in one film. So I can't get excited anymore about the crossover. It's been done too many times. There was a few times where we're like, oh wow, that'd be awesome to see those two together. And then it happens, it's like, okay, that was alright, I guess. So now the fact that companies are so willing to do crossovers, I think it kind of has lost its charm in a lot of ways.
You wait until Doctor Who Sherlock crossover.
Ah,
Then there'll be people screaming.
yeah, for the wrong
That's never
reasons.
But people, there's like lots of fan fiction stuff about that.
Yeah,
Tons of it.
Of course. That's why crossovers are only a semi-good idea, because it's a fan idea. That's the problem. The fans don't have good ideas in general, so when you kind of listen to them, you get this fan fiction stuff where it's just crossover for its own sake. Fan fiction isn't good. If it was good, people would care about it. But people don't. The only people that care about it are the people that write it. And that's it. So, to actually listen to the fans, it's the same thing as the whole internet, the show, or shows dying and people crying out. Don't listen to those people. They had their chance, and don't listen to crossover people. They're not talented. They would be doing something with their talents if they were. So I just want, here's what I want, alright? I want talented people who are good at what they do to do and make stuff. That's all I want. I don't want any fan input. I don't want any Kickstarter. I don't want any internet petitions. I just want people with ideas, given the freedom to express them, to make something good. Is that too much to ask?
Wow. You're right. You touched a nerve there at all.
I'm
maybe.
sick of it, Joe.
I never would have noticed.
The Simpsons, it keeps going.
Oh,
People are moaning. I'm moaning. We're all moaning.
I think you need to go and lay down,
Sure.
get off the internet for a bit, and then go back on the internet. and
Yeah! The petition will be signed.
the petition to stop petitions and other such things.
That's right. Enough of indie games is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, wow.
I'm throwing those in. It's all it's a rich tapestry. I'm just throwing in all of it.
It's in the small print.
Yeah, it's just stop stop crossovers. Also, indie games can go. Just at the bottom there.
Oh. By the way, I'll quickly ask you.
Okay.
I just brought up Doctor Who. Have you watched Doctor Who?
No.
Okay. Just wondered.
Or did you want to talk about the new episode? Now that it's actually a series now again?
I would like to talk about how Peter Capaldi and the episodes are plodding along, but I've only watched 2. I missed Saturday, the most recent one, so I've only seen 2 of them. But the second one, which is back down to its 45 minutes, wasn't very good.
Oh no.
And the thing is, it was quite a neat concept. It was an overdone concept, but it was like cheesy overdone. It's where they like there's all the science stories where people shrink down and go inside the body.
Like in Futurama.
Like in Futurama, like in Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, I think they did for Mr. Burns, and it's just, it's everywhere, that sort of cliche. They did it in Doctor Who, and they went inside a Dalek.
Right.
Sounds, when I realised that was what they were going for, I was like, oh, okay, let's see how they spin it, because see if they can do anything good with it. No, same thing. Rushed ending, stupid, what a shame.
So it's the same Moffat problems as before.
Yeah, it's been Moffated.
Oh no.
Well, right. Here's the thing. This isn't a spoiler because it's in the show, and
What?
It's not, and it's not the main. It's not the main thing of the show. It's fine.
Okay.
So they go inside a Dalek because the Dalek's broken, and it's not evil. It wants to kill Daleks. The Dalek.
That's nice.
So it's like, oh, does this mean there can be good Daleks? The Doctor must find out. So they go inside, and then they fix the Dalek. And then, surprise, surprise, that makes it evil again. I don't know where they were going with that.
Oh.
And that's like oh no, now he's shooting everyone again. What kind of the story is that?
Well, you know, bad people, when they're good, they're broken.
So stupid. Although, Peter Capaldi's Doctor is a lot, well, not a lot, but more dark for sure.
Oh.
Doesn't care as much about death, which is something I didn't like about Matt Smith. He was always like, oh no, we must save every single life and blah 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 blah.
What an arsehole.
Yeah, it's like you're not really gonna say, it's just an alien or whatever.
You're not Jesus.
But this Doctor is like, he can die, it's fine, and he brushes it off, which I kind of like. It's different. And Clara, as I mentioned from the first one, she's still getting a bit more of a personality.
Oh, that's good news.
Slowly rolling into character.
Well, sounds promising.
But the one I missed was about Robin Hood, so that could be terrible.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just, like, out of ideas? I mean, is that now the problem, do you reckon? Or is that a new problem we're going to see with this series?
I don't know.
Because nobody wants to see... like, Doctor Who goes into a Dalek and the next episode is meeting Robin Hood. Like, that doesn't sound like somebody who has a vision for the series and has these cool ideas. It just seems to be like, here's just some cliche stuff we can make the Doctor do to kill a bit of time.
I think, I'm not sure because I never watched the old ones, but I think it's sort of like a callback to some of the older ones where they were originally supposed to be semi-educational.
Oh, God.
Not that Robin Hood is, not that Robin Hood is educational, but it was sort of grounded in that sort of children's... So that often they go back to, like, the Romans, and they'd learn about the Romans, and then they go to... and even in the recent ones, they went back to Shakespeare and Agatha Christie. So it's probably following that line, but it doesn't make it any better.
No, that sounds worse. And then when Robin Hood dies, the Doctor's like, whatever, I guess he's dead. That's history changed forever.
Robin Hood wasn't real.
No, how dare you?
I'm sorry to break it to you.
The Doctor went back in time and met him.
What I want is more episodes on different planets. I'm sick of Earth. He can go anywhere in the world. In the universe. In the, whatever, nebula. That's smaller than the universe, but still. And it's always on Earth. Boring.
We have a lot happening. It's a very busy planet.
Take me to some aliens. I want to see some bad CGI.
What about he fights the Cybermen? That's what I'm thinking. That's an episode right there.
Have the Cybermen on an alien planet. I'll be pleased.
Yeah. Because one of the sort of storylines I don't like is an old Doctor Who foe has taken over the human race in a certain part of history, and now they're in control.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pulling the strings for years.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, it's not surprising anymore. Like, something odd's going around. Oh, my old foe is behind it all. That's why everyone's adding odd.
They really like Victorian London recently.
Sure. I mean, it's a pretty good setting for Doctor Who.
It's quite easy to film as well, I guess. So it probably helps the budget.
You just go to London and put a grey filter. Take out some of the mud.
In there. Yeah. Throw a bit of crap on the streets. Get a little urchin. Throw him somewhere.
Give someone the plague.
Yeah.
I think it's the wrong time, but whatever.
There's still rats. You're fine.
Yeah.
And, have some people coughing and throwing buckets. Oh no, that's maybe... No, throwing buckets outside windows, that would do.
I don't think we know the difference between the Black Death and Victorian England.
There was a bit of a gap there.
It's like 500-year gap, I want to say. Not much happened. They were still dying.
Yeah.
The Queen, there was a Queen then. That's the main difference. They had chimneys.
Buckets, yeah.
There was a fire at some point. Yeah, it's all fine.
So there, we can definitely say that Doctor Who is no longer educational.
No. We don't know. Although I don't watch it, so maybe that's why I don't know.
Well, you're fine. I don't know either. We can be ignorant together.
Way. So, something that did happen this week, or I think today-ish, maybe, is that Minecraft, your server got reset.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about PlayStation 4.
No, that's not interesting.
No, it's not. It's got a bigger world, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it did get reset. And a lot of people play them.
So, like, is that truly gone, the world? Like, is that actually gone?
As in...
You can't ever play on that world again?
Not with other people, no.
Oh.
I have got a download of the world, though. So I'm going to put my Muckluck mini golf course for download.
Hooray!
In case anyone wants to play it.
Coming soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna edit it into a world and do it all up.
MLG.
Mm-hmm.
Muckluck Golf.
Well, I thought, why not? Put all the effort in, might as well see if anyone else wants to play it.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. But no, it did get reset, and it's good because it's made people play again. I don't know for how long. They might only stay for like a week and disappear again.
But why does that work, though? Surely it's Minecraft. Can't you just walk in a direction and have a whole new area to do whatever you want in?
Are you saying instead of resetting, we should have just moved?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is brought up a lot because there are people who, when they build stuff, they don't want to, say goodbye to it. They want it to stay there, so just go and generate some new land. But I don't know. I think it's just that thought that, there is still stuff. It's just really far away instead of something that is completely clean. I guess it just affects people.
I guess. I mean, I'm not in that world, so I guess I can't really comment too much, but that just seems a little weird why you wouldn't just make a new server because why put so much time into something if it's just like, well, let's hit the reset on that. That was fun.
It's kind of something that I'm used to because I always used to start new worlds when I just played by myself. So I guess some people are like that though, where they they just want to stay with it, and then they get all emo when they reset. There were people who were not pleased. Let's just put it that way.
Fair enough. It's just like you can put so many hours. It seems like the equivalent of you buy another game, a single player game, you beat the story, and then you do all the open world stuff, you change everything, you kind of put so many different hours into building your character, and then one day you're just like, well, done with that, delete it, and then make a new save, rather than just make a new save and keep the old character. Like, that's what it sounds like to me has happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's something that's so normal to me. I haven't really thought about it in that way, but I wanted a reset because and actually other reasons for resets include no, it doesn't even, because you can get new stuff just by spawning it in. There is no reason. There is no reason. It's all mental. It is all mental. It's like, well, fresh start, completely fresh.
Sure.
That's it.
Oh, fair enough. Again, I don't know that world, so I won't judge too much.
Too much?
A little bit.
Why do you reset for? Honest on 23 joins, logs in. What are you doing here?
What is going on?
Why did you do this? And you just log straight back off again.
Can you live with the guilt? I'll just build that in massive blocks in the sky.
You're going to grief us.
Yeah.
Bang you.
Crying face next to it. The emoticon. I don't know. I don't want to get banned.
Ban hammer.
No. It hurts.
How did you even get on? There's a whitelist. God damn it.
Oh, I'll find a way. Don't you worry.
But no, that is very fun, and I'll probably play on there a bit until I have other stuff to do. life.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
you've been
that's
playing Minecraft a lot for years, so is there actually an endpoint in sight?
And when they stop updating, I guess.
Oh god, you know that could be like another 10 years.
They're staggering it. They still won't release things like the API for modding, and I think the reason they're doing it is so they can prolong the the interest in the game.
Well, the thing is, like, I think one day in like 5 years' time, Notch will be like, you know what, we're done. They'll make something else and move on. It won't be as popular, but I just have a feeling that Notch is the sort of guy who would never stop Minecraft, but I think he would say, I'm going to draw a line. You know, in years' time, not anytime soon, but he would draw a line and say no, because he is that one person. It's usually when a company doesn't have someone where it's just them who can make that decision and have that be that and have them explain it and people understand. That's when things just kind of keep on going. But I don't know, I just see it eventually it's got to stop. Like, WoW is still going, but it had a massive drop-off. So I would assume what's happened to WoW in the last few years will happen to Minecraft in like another 5 or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Notch has already done that, but just for himself. He has nothing to do with it anymore. I think he was sick of it. Because he was just sick of people, saying, you should add this, why isn't this in here, why have you changed this, blah, blah, blah. And I think he just likes making games, and I think he said himself, he just got lucky with Minecraft, and he just wanted to move on to something else. So he's sort of passed on to another team now, but I don't know, Mojang is such a weird company. Such a really weird company. They've got this, one of the biggest games now.
Of all time.
Yeah, and they're still like a tiny little, in comparison anyway, tiny little company, and they're not really doing much else, which is a shame.
They will do eventually. I mean, I don't know what it would be.
Minecraft 2.
Minecraft 2, oh god.
It will be Minecraft 2.
Spacecraft, that's what it'll be. Wait, hold on, that's already a word. Damn it!
And there's already a mod for that as well.
Damn it! It's ruined.
It's pretty good, actually.
Shoot.
Yeah.
But no, it's just weird that Minecraft was one of the first non-MMO games that people committed time to, like an MMO. Like, I know there was like Counter-Strike and all that kind of stuff, but Minecraft is on a whole other level where you can just, because there's no endpoint, and because you make your own fun in a sort of way, you can just play it like an MMO, where just all day, every day, you just sit on a server messing around with blocks and all that kind of thing.
It is such a weird game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one.
When you say like that, I mean, why is it still, I think must be coming up to 5 years old now, I think. I think it was around 2009 he made the first sort of
from the alpha, I would say it's like 5
So
years.
maybe I probably didn't start picking up a lot of Steam until maybe 3 years. But yeah.
Well, I think there was some like major stepping stone, or there was 2 major ones. I think the beta was bigger than the release, because it came out and that's when it started like building even more. But the beta was when it kind of really got going. Like,
that's when it had the Nether.
Yeah, that's when everyone jumped on board, because the alpha was still kind of small, but it was gaining gaining up speed, and then the beta, and then the second big boost was the 360 version, where that sold a stupid amount, brought it to a whole new audience, and then the 360 version still sells a stupid amount to this day. So I would say that those were the 2 big ones. From someone who doesn't play the game anyway. That's the impression I get.
God, I always forget about the 360.
Yeah.
There's a whole other community around that, and it's just weird.
Yeah, the whole console, like Minecraft on consoles or any sort of console, is always in the top 10, and has been like since it came out.
Yeah, like that, even Pocket Minecraft, which is just awful. That's always on the top setting, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone wants Minecraft, because I guess it's one of those things where I think Minecraft on console works because it's a bit like Minecraft is so similar to Lego, where it doesn't matter what set you have or how many pieces you have, you can still have fun with what you have, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some people who play on PC who get all the new Lego pieces every day and do all these crazy, wacky things. And then there's the people who just buy the smaller sets, like on the iPad with Pocket Minecraft. It's just a smaller set where you can't do as much, but you can still mess around, you can still have fun. So I think that's why it works. Like, you can still have an inferior version of Minecraft, and it doesn't feel inferior unless you know the superior version.
It's just, when it's everywhere, like you mentioned, it's on all consoles, it's top selling, blah blah blah. I absolutely can see why people dislike it.
I don't think there's that many people who dislike it.
Well,
though.
maybe it's just my own experience, but I have a few friends that they used to play it with me, and now they hate it because it's like, and whenever they say, "What are you playing, Joe?" and I say, "Oh, I'm playing Minecraft." They go, why are you still playing that game for?
Well, yeah, that's
I
it.
like it.
It's not Minecraft. It's you're playing the same game every week for years. I think that's why people have that reaction.
But it's different.
It's
That's
not
what I
different.
don't understand.
It's the same, and
There's
know
new
it.
stuff.
There's blocky sheep. You punch a tree, go in a cave.
But then people won't react like that if I said I played WoW. I don't think.
I think they would.
I don't.
Or they would be like, it's too late for him. He's playing WoW again.
Oh. Well, maybe.
Well, there's people at work that play WoW, and it's just, if you're playing WoW at this point, it's kind of like, I would judge you, but this is how I feel. It's like, yeah, you just love WoW, and that's just how your life is. So cool.
Also, Minecraft is very kiddie,
Sure.
which I think is also a bit off-putting for people.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I didn't realise just how popular it is with like 10-year-olds and 8-year-olds. I remember doing I went back to my old school to do some just some volunteering there to help my old art teacher because we got on well.
Yeah.
And I just helped with some of the year 7s. Just like making sure they're getting on with work and helping them, blah blah blah.
Did they call you MrMuckluckable?
No, they didn't. But all they were talking about the whole time, and these are year 7, so they're 11, 12 years old, was Minecraft. One of them was saying, I know how to kill Herobrine. And I'm like, you little fool. He isn't in the game. It's just a joke, you little freak. But...
so I call
saying...
Daniel Craig a freak. I'm a monster. You call an innocent kid a freak.
He wasn't innocent. He was saying, I know how to summon Herobrine. You do this, and then you get 4 gold, and then you go here, and then... I'm like, no, that's not how you do it, you idiot. What are you, 10? Oh, wait.
Grow up.
But, yeah, that's all they were talking about. And I was like, wow, I didn't realise.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you kind of think about it, back when you were a kid, you were talking about similar games that you would be nowadays. Like... Pokemon, like, Time Splitters is a 16, but that's what I played when I was younger, and I know you did as well. And Star Wars Battlefront, those were 2 big multiplayer ones, and that's what you would talk about. And then nowadays, we have a podcast where we talk about those things. So the only difference is that we're less ignorant and more angry about it. So really, it's like, when you're talking about video games or just the things you like, you don't really change that much.
Wait, I've got confused now.
What?
What are you saying now?
I'm saying that you like the things you like, and that actually doesn't change that much, especially in terms of video games. So the only difference between us and kids is that we're more informed and angrier when we talk about the games we like. But we're talking about the same games, if you know what I mean.
Right, so when
Time Splitters 3 came out, me and my friends were talking about it a lot, and playing it, and having an awesome time, and saying how good it was. If a new one came out, now, years and years later, the same thing would happen. It wouldn't be the exact same conversations, but we would still talk about how awesome it is. hopefully if it's good and how excited we are for it, it wouldn't be that different.
Okay, but what I was referring to, I don't know how this matches up. I've got really confused now.
Okay.
Is that I'm 21 years old. I'm playing a game that these 10-year-old kids are talking about.
Yeah.
That's what was really off-putting to me.
Yeah, because you like what you like. It's fine.
Okay. It's just like, imagine, like, alright, so when Time Splitters came out in 2005, so how old would I have been? 13?
Mm-hmm.
If I was, like, there, 13's not that young, I suppose, but,
yeah.
people who maybe, right, 21, I don't know what I'm going at here. Maths, age, nostalgia, who knows?
Oh, is that the end of the point? I thought you would... Oh.
Yeah,
No,
the point was going nowhere. I confused myself.
No, I know what you're saying, but it's still like... When you actually think about it, it's not really that surprising.
No?
No.
So, are you saying that we're too old to be playing those games, or they're too young, or
No,
neither?
I'm just saying that tastes only change so much from when you're a kid. You grow up, but you're actually kind of... A lot of things that you like, you still kind of continue to like.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I'm saying. So really, at first, like, in that moment when you hear someone who's a lot younger talking about the things you like, you're like, oh man. But when you break it down, that person who's talking about it will probably grow up into you one day, and then, if they don't get hit by a bus, and then they'll be talking about that thing, and we'll have that same moment with similar sort of games.
I hope not. That kid was a brat.
I know, right?
He would not do his work, and he kept on talking about bloody Herobrine.
Oh. I mean, either do your work or get informed about Minecraft.
I know. It was just a joke. Come on.
Oh, he's going nowhere fast.
And it's like, how do those things... Like, how does he expect that to even work? Because their kids have internet now.
Yeah.
If it was like years ago and you had to have a magazine or something, sure. But you can't do that, stupid kid. You can't just lie. Lying's bad.
Well, the thing is that kids nowadays, one thing I don't like about them, right, why we should get rid of them, is that they just get a lot of their stuff from YouTube videos, like us. But instead of watching us, because we're old and has-beens and...
We're informative.
We're informative. Well, I'm not, but you are. But I'm here too.
You're informative.
A little bit. Actually, before I get onto the why kids suck, I recorded part 28 of Red Dead. Tried to be informative about a place because I was like, we haven't seen Mexico that much. I'm going to show you guys one of the towns in Mexico, and it was a complete train wreck.
Was it Chuparosa?
No, it was the other one where the government are.
Blackwater?
No,
Mexico.
The Mexican
yeah.
one.
The
I tried to be like informative and like, this is the town, this is where you buy this is useful, do this, there you go. But I shortly realised I had no clue what I was talking about. I don't know the game at all, I just kind of like it and think it's fun. And then I just was a bit all over the place and I just had to end it on a sad note of me not knowing anything and being dumb.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, that's on the way next week.
Alright, back to kids.
Back to the kids. Why they suck. It's because, it's like they just watch big YouTubers. You got, or overexcited, in-your-face YouTubers like PewDiePie. Sly Foxhound, I think, is another one who's just like really quick. Nerdcubed. And it's kind of weird how people don't see the correlation between those sort of YouTubers and the way a kid show is. Like, like a kid show is designed to be appealing to a kid by talking in a certain way, and it has a pace in a certain way, and it is bright and is colourful and is in your face. And that's what those YouTubers do. And I don't quite understand why people don't see that connection. That it's a kid show, a lot of those things. Not all of them, and sometimes you do kind of want a fast-paced, easy thing to watch. It's why Family Guy has an audience. But it's still kind of weird how popular those shows are. I don't know why people don't say it's for children more. You don't have to completely I don't break down and insult those bigger YouTube channels because at the end of the day, I know it's for children. and that's fine. I don't like them, but it's fine. Kids can have their thing, but I just want more acknowledgement that that's what's going on with bigger YouTubers, that most of them appeal to children because that's the biggest audience and that's why they make money. And
That's really scary, though, because, like you say, when you compare it to a show, a show has guidelines. It has, they've got a certain amount of censors or whatever the channel is. When you're watching YouTube videos, it's down to the creator of what they think's suitable for kids, isn't it?
Yep.
And so, that's why, like PewDiePie, I'm sure someone's mentioned, he might make a remark that's sort of like, I don't know, using rape in a sort of jokey term. But still, the damage is there.
Oh, yeah.
So that is very worrying.
Yeah. That's it. A kid will just have an iPad, will just look up YouTube videos of games they like, will stumble across these big ones, and then they don't know what they're watching, and then they just suddenly are making rape jokes all the time. I'm not saying all in favour of censorship, but there is still those bigger YouTubers are in a different league to smaller ones because they've gone from being a smaller kind of YouTuber, and not even that small, but a YouTuber is just someone who has taken the time to do something creative and has invested their time into doing this because they enjoy it. But when you do it for a career, then that becomes a responsibility in a way. So I don't think they should censor themselves, but they still they've created a responsibility for themselves. They pandered, they forced their way to the top. They put capitals in all their YouTube video names. They was don't forget to subscribe. They force themselves upon people. They get that audience because they appeal to children and the techniques they use on children. And now they do have a responsibility because they make that audience happen. And again, I don't know exactly what that means, but it still seems like they should have some responsibility. Not a strict, don't do this, but something.
Well, and especially because YouTube's changed so much. We could say when YouTube first started, it was all about you can do whatever the hell you want. You make, that's how YouTube grew, because people did what they want. They became the content creators. But now it's become more like that alternative to television in many ways.
Well, that only started happening in the last 5 years. YouTube used to be music videos and just weird, funny, viral, weird stuff, which it still kind of is. But it's only recently that people took it as a platform to do what they want to do. So that's what's interesting. That in the last 5 years, YouTube changed and became what it is today.
And so, yeah, I from that point, from where it did change, I think there is a big responsibility for people to at least think about what they're representing. Definitely.
Because it goes from being a small YouTuber throwing something into the pond and hoping for the best to, I know that this many people are going to watch. I know who my audience is. I gotta watch what I do to some degree. But speaking of big YouTubers though, or YouTubers that are successful, I found another one I dislike.
Okay.
I've talked about big YouTubers before. I don't like the Game Theorist. Didn't like Pro Jared. Turned around on the guy. Really like him now. I think he's one of the good ones who, get success. What's he called? Really Freaking Clever, I think is the guy's name. And he does gaming videos.
Right.
And I've seen one of them. I'll be honest, I only saw one. And I had to stop halfway through because it was awful. It was called 64 Things Wrong with Majora's Mask. And then it was him he was pretty much let's playing the game, but doing it in post and editing it. He just started from the final cutscene, and it wasn't any sort of analysis of Majora's Mask. It wasn't him saying, here are 64 things I think are wrong with Majora's Mask compared to the other games, or whatever, or things I would fix. It was just, great job, Link, letting the Skull Kid get away, and then it goes ding, and then he goes on to the next his next point, the next thing that's wrong with the game.
So it's like a sort of highlights clip
and
show.
Just like, oh yeah, steal the ocarina, not the sword, ding, and it was just that for 64 times, just going through the beginning cutscene and beginning parts of Majora's Mask, and I was just like, how are people watching this? Like, it wasn't. It was so unfunny that it kind of. It was so bad. I really
64.
didn't enjoy it. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of time to go ding.
Yeah, it's 64 quick-fire jokes that, you know what, if he was just let's playing the game and was just making some jokes, then it would have kind of... when it comes to that sort of thing, you want it to either be natural or you want it to be scripted so it's actually, like, good. You know? You can't hit in the middle. You can't do that middle ground of, I'll just edit out the bad parts, write some jokes, and then just throw it up there. Like, it's lazy. But the thing is, because he called it 64 things wrong with Majora's Mask, and because it's quick fire and easy to watch, it has an audience. And he does really well. He has a lot of subscribers. That video is going to get a lot of views. But it's terrible. Like, it's really bad. And I just, like, I know there are awful YouTubers out there. I also know there's good ones. But whenever you see a a bad, successful one, it's always like a little bit just like, ugh. But again, my point earlier was that it appeals to children, but it's just like, it's still, ugh.
Okay.
No,
64.
okay, right.
64.
There's difference of opinion, different sense of humour. There are things I have watched on YouTube where it's like, okay, I didn't find that funny, but it's not my sense of humour. I can see why someone else would. And then there's something that's bad. And that one was just bad.
Was it 64 because it was Nintendo 64?
Yep. See, that's all you want to do. You just want to...
See, now I'm just thinking of 64 slices of American cheese. I think I'm blind. What do they say? What does Mr. Burns say when they pop off the scene?
Yeah, it's like, Mr. Burns, good day to you.
Good day to you.
Dusts himself off and out the door. Oh, and also, I already left a comment on it, but you did that last Jay Sano Fanserver episode, and there was an award ceremony in it, and nobody said Boo Earns.
Oh, I did see that, yes.
I was just like, right. There was so many chances for a Boo Earns, and it never happened.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm dropped the ball there.
It's disappointing. I mean, that was still really funny, that ceremony anyway, but that's all I was thinking. Any sort of award ceremony where a boo could occur, a Boo Earns should also occur.
It's the law. Okay, I'll remember for next time.
That's right.
I remember for next
Throw
time.
in a Boo Earns.
I was saying Boo Earns.
Oh. God, that's what I love about The Simpsons and Futurama, which we've talked about enough today, but I always get little things from that show that get stuck in my head. Even if they're not that funny. Like, the most recent one was from Futurama, the one where the 80s guy takes over the company.
Yeah. Bonitis.
Yeah, it's Bonitis. And this isn't going to be funny when I say it. It just got stuck in my head and made me laugh throughout, like, a week or two. Where it's just like, they show that ad, that's just a rip-off of the Apple ad.
Yeah.
It's like, did you approve that awful ad, Fry? And then just this part I couldn't get out of my head, just, yes I did, Lils, and I'll tell you why. And just whenever it was appropriate in my head, when it was like, whenever the context was right, I just had to think, yes I did, Lils, and I'll tell you why.
Right, okay.
And it was just, I'm trying to think, just like, yeah, it was just like, oh, did I grab the post this morning? Yes, I did, Lils. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it just like... And I would just, like, grin to myself every time. And it's just like, with The Simpsons and Futurama, there's been so many of those moments throughout the years where I'll just have, like, a week or two where one of these small things is stuck in my head. And I just kind of make myself laugh thinking about it. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I'm sure there must
No.
be people who have that as well.
Yeah, I'm the same. I had one with in fact, I still got it to an extent, but it's when Bender when he does the bending and he finds, is it Flexo? Is that his name?
Yeah, Flexo.
And he, in one part of the episode, he bends Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah.
And I think he bends him the wrong way, and it's just the way he goes, "I'm sad now."
Oh.
That always comes up. I always think of that to myself sometimes. Oh, I'm sad now.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another one that I thought of, but now I can't remember it. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Just like the Cape Fear episode where it's like, "You stay away from my son." "Oh, I'll stay away. I'll stay away forever." I've said that so much over the years.
It's like, oh, wait, can I try that again? No.
No. Ugh. That's such a good line.
Oh, that is a classic episode.
That's why that's one of the best ones. There's so many lines like that. It was like, no one who could speak German, no one who was German could be an evil man. And just lines like that.
Yeah, that is like it's one of those episodes where it's, well, a lot of episodes are like it, but it's just line after line is quotable. Very
Oh
good.
yeah, like Margin
Very.
and Monorail, you know.
Yes.
All
yes.
those sort of ones.
I never should have gone to get that haircut.
Oh, God, so good.
You never saw him again, that guy. He was funny.
No. So
Anyway, we can't just spend the whole podcast quoting Simpsons episodes.
no, so we're getting towards the end. So I guess, I mean, have you been playing any other games this week? Keep it about games and such.
I've been not really. I've been slowly progressing with Assassin's Creed. I really suck at boat battles. That's all. I just want to keep ramming them, but I don't have the big ram thing yet.
You'll get it. Don't you worry.
I will, and I will ram so hard
Oh God, don't phrase it like that. I mean,
in the boat.
that's fine.
Okay.
Scurvy, all that.
Mhm.
But it's like, it's crazy. I really don't have the time anymore to play games. Apart from, the games I'm paid to play. That, it's awful, let me tell you. But no, I really don't. Like, whenever I get home to play games now, it's games I plan to review. Because I try and do a review every week, and that takes a lot of time, and I have to beat a game every week, which means I will work 11.5 hours a day, and then another hours for travel, and then I gotta sleep, and then I've gotta do all my other stuff, and then somewhere in that time I've gotta beat a game in a week as well. So I don't play games for pleasure anymore. And I don't know what happened. I used to all the time. And now I either do it for work or I do it for YouTube. And it's sad.
Getting old.
Yeah. Because it's like, if I ditched the YouTube stuff, or just the reviews, then I would have tons of times I could put like an hour or two into a game I want to play every day. And the games I review I do want to play, but it's like, I want to beat Child of Light at some point. And the new game season starts in a couple of weeks. Like, there's Destiny coming out, which I'm not buying, but that's still like, that marks the beginning of new game season. And I still got Child of Light to beat. I've still got The Last of Us Remastered to play. And then I also brought a ton of Star Wars PSP games, so I think I have like all of them now.
No, wow.
Yeah, I just like saw it in a second-hand game shop. They just had them. I was like, alright, let's just grab all these, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, that one that you reviewed looked pretty fun.
It wasn't bad. I mean, could have been better, but
For a PSP game, it looked pretty detailed.
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad. Anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah,
No time.
no time. So at some point, because I don't want to give up on Child of Light. I've done this so many times when it comes to RPGs especially, where I'll have like a week of really playing it, and then something else will come along, or I just never get around to turning on the console again to actually play it. And that's what's happened with Child of Light in the last couple of weeks. I really enjoyed it, and now I just haven't played it in a while. And then I've been busy, and then yesterday it was like I was editing. So the review Crash of the Titans, I was editing that. And then I had a choice. I was like, I could either play Child of Light or watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on Blu-ray. Woo! So I did that instead. And then it was like, well, now I've got no time for Child of Light.
Well, you've only got yourself to blame for that one.
I know, but I want to do it all. I've still got the Lego Movie Wrapped that I need to watch. It's the cruel irony of adulthood. You earn money to buy everything you ever want, but because you're earning money, you have no time to do any of it anymore.
I know. I'm scared, Tom.
I hate irony. I'm sick of it.
Oh, not another Debbie Downer.
I know, right? It's still positive though, because it's like I got all this cool stuff. So,
yeah, but it's just all sitting there.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if I didn't work so much overtime, I would have time to do it. Like on Sundays I work, but I don't have to. I just do anyway. So really, I have all the time in the world. But still, still going to complain because it's what we do.
And I wouldn't want it any other way.
Ah, see, that's a nice note. To end it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Pleased with that.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's going on with your channel next week?
James Bond.
Cool. Gun.
UHC, Minecraft.
Oh.
And then, like we mentioned, the new series. I'll get an episode up sometime in the coming week with the new map.
Awesome.
And that's it.
Sounds very busy.
Quite busy, yeah. It is quite busy. Oh dear. I don't like having a busy channel.
Oh, don't worry, soon you'll go back to uni, and then you'll be busy.
I will be busy, but I will be doing it not at uni, somewhere else.
Ah, that's what I meant to say, somewhere else.
Yeah, just somewhere else.
Because that's what my summer was meant to be. It was meant to be, right, finish uni, I can concentrate on my YouTube channel, because last year I made like a review a week and did it easily and did 2 Let's Plays and it was awesome, and then I drunk a lot, but that was my summer and it was good. But I got a job instantly, so I didn't get that, which is why I had to have the big hiatus. So now I'm at the point where it's like, I want to keep doing YouTube, but I can only do it to a certain capacity. And I didn't get that one final hurrah where I make a big push. Because that's why I started, by the way, Red Dead Redemption and Super Mario Sunshine. Because I was like, I'll do it in the summer. I've got tons of time. I'm laughing. Then it turns out I had no time, and I'm not laughing.
I think it's still going pretty well. I mean, if you're saying doing all this overtime stuff, you still got quite a few videos and stuff.
Whatever. Well, really, it's just because I decided to do reviews, like prioritize reviews over Let's Plays, but we've already talked about it, so I won't go on about it again.
Okay.
Oh, and also, because I don't think we've had a podcast since. I beat you at Spelunky. No.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was playing on a smaller window.
Oh, sure.
I was.
I don't play full screen. I play on quite a small window.
Well, you're weird.
Why am I... No, I don't like it full screen.
Why not?
Because I like to... I don't know. I just like to be able to click on iTunes or whatever, browse if I'm just bored.
I've never been good at Splunky, so I'm not surprised.
That's all I needed to hear.
Actually, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Did you compete in any more Mario Kart 8 stuff?
No.
As in you missed them, or they haven't happened yet?
I'm at my new place and I can't connect to other players online with my internet connection.
Oh.
Which is stupid and I hate it. But I was there for the second heat. I was there, and I think the third heat went on today, which I didn't try because I was at work. But the second heat I was there, I was like, right, let's play some Mario Kart. And I couldn't connect to any players. And I went on the website, checked, just was like, okay, what can I do? Did every single thing they recommended. None of it worked. So I just can't connect online on Mario Kart 8. Which is a shame because there's all the DLC that came out. Or the Mercedes one. And then there's going to be the new DLC. And I can't play it. And I'm sad
That's
now.
sad.
I'm sad now. But no, so I mean, I would have liked to have done it again just to see if I could have beaten my old score. Not to see if I could, actually win. I didn't get anywhere close the first heat, but just to see if I could have beaten 144 points. Because I think I could have done.
Especially without, recording and stuff, that having to worry about that.
Yeah, all the frustration that came out.
I liked your frustration though, because it was very steaming.
Yeah, that's it. That's what happens when I play games. It's like
You get quite snarky.
I hit a level and then I'm constant on that level. Most people hit a high level and then come down again. They'll just have a moment. But I hit like a high level, then I come down to medium, and now I'm just kind of annoyed for the rest of the time.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, because that sort of thing with Mario Kart 8, that's what I want to kind of do once I start live streaming. But like, that's kind of the whole thing I want to do. Just play some games online, maybe, and something like that. So it'll be that sort of format. Where with Mario Kart 8, that was an hour straight, or like an hour 10. So it'll be something like that, where it'll be an hour to 2 hours of just playing a game, similar to that, and then just hopefully it'll be as good and come out well.
Yeah, get on with it.
All right,
do it.
All right, I'm on the way. God.
Okay, good. All right,
next week. Oh, geez.
Cool.
All right, well that's us for the week. So no Joe no Joe next week because of that Sean Connery thing you have.
Yeah.
So thank you for being on this week.
I can't wait till that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I will see you next week.
See ya.